Kayla Cuevas and Nisa Mickens were close friends on Long Island. But in September 2016, on the eve of Nisa's 16th birthday, such a happy time it should have been, neither of them came home. These two precious girls were brutally murdered while walking together in their hometown. 6 members of the savage MS-13 gang have been charged with Kayla and Nisa's murders.
That was President Trump honoring the parents of 16-year-old Kayla Cuevas and 15-year-old Nisa Mickens, who were slain by the notorious MS-13 gang. The tragic story of these 2 young girls has become a flashpoint for the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigrants. Since 2016, when the brutal murders took place, approximately 400 people suspected of gang activity have been arrested in Suffolk County, and local and federal authorities are showing no signs of slowing down. But one concern has arisen. As officials continue to amp up efforts to bring an end to the vicious gang that's wreaking havoc on Long Island, the question is being raised, could they be risking the due process of some immigrants in the community? Well, now county executives are stepping in and offering a new and perhaps less abrasive way to tackle the problem of gang violence, and that is prevention programs. In Brentwood, the Strong Youth Organization has worked for 2 decades to keep children, young people, away from gangs. And they will continue this effort alongside the county, now giving them $500,000 for their efforts. We're pleased to be joined by activist and Strong Youth President Sergio Argueta, who actually once belonged to a Latino gang himself. Sergio, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Before we get to the details of what you're doing now, tell us, how was it that you got involved in a gang as a young person?
As a young man growing up in Hempstead, in elementary school, I was like I was like every other elementary school kid, wanting to do good and be successful in life. And if you asked my classmates and I what we wanted to be when we grew up, you'd hear things like President of the United States and, lawyer and professional athlete. And we all had these wonderful dreams. But as we got older and the resources were lacking and, you start seeing some of the deficits in terms of what exists in the community, young people are drawn to certain things. And for me, there was a lot of violence in the community, and unfortunately, I thought that, this group of friends, individuals that literally I had grown up with, we were going to protect one another and sort of not be victims to this violence. And then before you know it, you too start perpetuating that violence.
Right.
And that's really what happened in my life.
Yeah. What is the lure, do you think, today for young people who are in some ways being seduced into joining these gangs?
The lure is pretty much, some of the same things that existed when I was a child, right? So oftentimes violence exists in these communities. This isn't new. And young people feel that by joining a gang, they may have a sense of protection. Individuals that don't have strong support networks, no pun intended, if they don't have a lot of friends and things of that nature, all of a sudden there's a social aspect to this. There's also individuals that are looking to become a part of something. And there are those that are bullied into this. The belief is, I'm being bullied right now. If I join this gang, I'll be protected. I'll have friends. They're not going to make fun of me as much. And, unfortunately, there is sort of like a predatory behavior that begins to play out in terms of, once you become a part of a gang.
Let's talk about, I mentioned the Strong Youth program, been around for decades now. What sort of programs are you offering? What sort of approaches are you taking that will hopefully divert young people away from the gang membership and allow them to proceed in different directions?
We have a clinical team that works with these individuals in terms of their counseling, looking at therapeutic approaches to dealing with, the issues that these young people might be dealing with, really focusing on creating an atmosphere where, adolescents are able to sort of strengthen their relationships with their parents. Unfortunately, many of our young people may be a little bit distant from some of their primary caregivers. And so it's about, reconditioning, strengthening families. That's really the model that we use.
Well, it's clear that this is an enormously critical problem for us to deal with, and as important as it is to get violent predators off the street, we know that we can't arrest our way out of this problem. So we are certainly thankful, Sergio, to you, your group, all the other people who are out there that are doing such good work to combat this. We appreciate it, and thank you for taking some time and filling us in on the work that you've been doing. You continue to do that good work, and you be well.
We shall. Thank you for having us. We greatly appreciate it.